So good morning, welcome back to Stepping Out of the Bubble. And yeah, I did have another week off last week and it was really nice because I'd done so many interviews in the last 6 months that there was a lot of editing involved. So it was quite nice to just step away from that. And I do feel refreshed and revigorated for another week of some fantastic women to interview. So I hope you all had a good week. We had an amazing week. Mark, actually, I need to share, Mark won a car. My husband won a car last week. Which is something that you don't often hear people say, but he bought a raffle ticket and yeah, they got a call last week and the car arrived on Saturday. So that's quite exciting. So we went out for a spin at the weekend and we're not actually keeping it, we are going to be selling it, but sometimes it's just nice to share some good news stories, especially in this current climate. So this morning, just kicking the week off, talking to somebody that I've met recently through our virtual connections, and a fantastic lady that I'm really excited to hear her share her story about how she found her passion for fashion. So I'm going to be welcoming brand and image consultant Maggie McMillan from Style. So good morning, Maggie.
Everybody, good morning.
Good morning. It's lovely to see you, and it feels like we have met each other, even though it's only been virtual. It does feel like I know you more.
I know. Well, you know what I think it is? It's the Yorkshire girl. It's that Yorkshire thing, you know.
Yes,
we
yeah.
We do.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Stand in a bus in Yorkshire, and you stand in London, and nobody speaks to you at all.
Yeah, it's so true. I could get on the train to Leeds to London, and when you get past kind of Sheffield, nobody talks to each other. It's really weird. And then you get on the tubes, no one kind of avoids you. So if people don't know you, how do you describe yourself to people?
Well, I am a personal branding, image, impact and wardrobe consultant, which is a real mouthful. But basically, I help both men and women of every age. And, the herb says pop stars, CEOs to sixth formers, grannies to godchildren, everyone in between. And I help them at all kinds of different times in their lives. But it's about finding a wardrobe that works for you. That's one of the angles. And not wasting money on clothes you don't need, and making your own existing wardrobe work for you. Understanding your body shape, whatever it is, being proud of it, and dressing to it. But there's also a personal branding element, which is that I firmly believe every one of us, whether we're the CEO of Marks and Spencer's or the mum at the school gate, and we're all unique, and we have to understand that brand to look good, and if we look good, that will complement our brand. So in my one-to-one consultations, I spend a lot of time, whether anybody's in the corporate sector or they're not, just getting to know them, because anybody can look good in their clothes, but it has to reflect who you are. So for me, it's about finding a wardrobe that works for you, and for your personality, and for your budget, of course, and your lifestyle.
It's so true, because how you when you put clothes on, it can make such a massive difference to how you feel about yourself when you step out the door, can't it?
It's just it's feeling good, looking good, feeling good. And, I think people now understand that it's really important. And actually, the way that you look is the kind of wrapping paper for what's inside. But there's no doubt whatsoever, that if you feel good about the way you look, people will be more positive in the way they respond to you, and you will be more positive in the way you respond to them. I'm going to shugle a bit up now, because we've had this discussion about where I am in the screen, and I look, and I'm there. I'm going to stay there now.
Perfect.
I can put myself in the right place in the screen. I'm not going to move a muscle now.
Well, that's great, because we can see your lovely earrings now better as well. They're fabulous.
Yeah. Oh, I love an accessory. I spend a lot of money on a lot of accessories, but not expensive ones.
So where did this passion for fashion come from? Because this has not been your primary long-term career, has it?
No, absolutely not. So I started my career. I'm sorry, Rachel.
It's all right.
I started my career as a speech therapist, and I specialised in Down syndrome, and I researched in Down syndrome, and I wrote about it. And then I became the first national director of the charity for children with Down syndrome, and I that was just a halcyon years. I love that. But I'd always been passionate about fashion. And then when I was in my, I don't know how old was I, 30s, I'm doing it again. There we go. When I was in my 30s, my husband and I moved to France. Not in my 30s. What am I talking about? I must have been my 40s or my 50s. 50s. My husband and I moved to France, and I got involved with a group of girls there, just going shopping and doing what you do when you're an expat. And they thought you're quite good at this. I'd always been passionate about clothes. You know, then you buy something in the shops and you go home and you go through their wardrobes with them and say, oh, that looks good with that. That looks good with that. So they said, oh, you're quite good at this. So in fact, I trained in Paris and in French, and then I came home and I thought, oh, I'm not absolutely sure, actually, maybe my French wasn't good enough, so I retrained, and then I started my business. And tragically, over the period since then, I've lost 2 husbands. I've been widowed twice. So what started out as like a bit of fun on the side has had to become an earning stream. And I'm just really, really lucky, because it has had to become an earning stream, that actually, you know what, I'm spending my time slightly later on in my life than I might have expected, but doing something I love.
I love that. I mean, I think it's an amazing story, and I can only imagine that through those really hard times, finding something that you're passionate about has been a bit of therapy for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it still is, but and it's not, you know, sorry, and this is driving me around the bend there. Sorry, everybody, so don't have therapy. It's all over the shop. No, the thing is that it is a passion, and I love it, and I love the difference it makes to people. And I know how much better I feel when I feel good about the way I look. So I know how that affects other people.
So when you went to France, which is something that I didn't know about, in your 50s, I mean, that was really quite a brave decision in itself. But then to go and retrain in something in another language as well, completely out of your comfort zone.
But you know what? It was because I needed something to do. You know, I was there being the chatelaine, and we had a beautiful 12th century chateau, and I needed something to do. And it was just, I thought, God, this is what I've loved all these years. So let's get on and do it. And then, as I say, I came back and I played at it because I could. And then thank God that I did retrain, because it's been my lifeline.
Yeah, I think it's just an incredible story, and I love what you do, and I love the fact that you represent older women and show older women that you can wear so many different things, and you don't have to be put in that stereotypical box of aging wardrobe.
I have to tell you that my daughters will still say to me, I've got daughters of 32 and 29. They will still say to me occasionally, oh, for goodness sake, mummy, dress your age, not your shoe size.
Oh, does that make you more determined to keep wearing what you're wearing?
Absolutely, I don't. They know me well enough now. But it is interesting. No, and I believe that we can wear most things. As we get older, our bodies change, and I think inevitably what we need to do is we need to pay attention to that and make sure the bits that we show off the most, perhaps maybe our slightly better bits, but actually as long as things fit us well. I mean, I think that's a big thing. Something has to fit you well,
Yeah. So that ties in. That ties in with the conversation that we really wanted to have about making sure that your wardrobe is quality over quantity.
It is quality over quantity. Yeah, it is quality over quantity. But I think, I call them Maggie's mantras, and I always say everyone should follow them, but they don't, I don't always follow them myself, I have to admit. So there's, but basically, when you buy something new for your wardrobe, you have to make sure that there's 3 things in your wardrobe that you can wear it with. You need to make sure that you've got 3 occasions on which you can wear it, because in this day and age, there's no way that we can afford to buy something for a one-off. So think of 3 occasions you can wear it, three things you can wear it with, and don't buy it unless you love it.
That's such good advice.
I had a friend who used to say, oh, I'll buy this, it'll do for the school queue, which meant that, it would do for sitting in the school queue or standing in the school queue, and then you'll never wear it. So you have to love it. You have to love it. And also, a bit more difficult, every time you put something into your wardrobe, take something out. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but take something out. And I think that works really well, because otherwise you end up with loads and loads of the same thing and your wardrobe just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think invest in basics, invest in things that are not trend led, great coats, comfortable shoes, great white shirt, good fitting trousers, decent jeans that don't bag at the knee after you've had them on twice, that kind of thing.
How do you think that lockdowns changed people's attitudes to the wardrobe? Because we haven't had that access to it. Obviously, you can shop online, but it's not the same as going and trying things on.
I think the way that people have dressed during lockdown has been really interesting in that I think we all started off in our tracksuit bottoms, and then after a while we all got a bit fed up with our tracksuit bottoms. So we started kind of looking in our wardrobe for what we've got. And I ran a big campaign to say, wear what you've got in your wardrobe, else you're not going to wear it this summer. I think people have... I think it has changed the way that people shop, because many people are not sure what's going to happen, whether they are going to be going back into the workplace or not. Lots of people didn't know whether they were going on holidays or not. So, their holiday shopping was put on hold. I think there were some disastrous mistakes made, and I called them cheer-up choices, where you sort of bought something in lockdown because you were fed up, really. And so I kept saying to people, buy accessories. They're cheaper and they'll change your outfits, But I think people have realized now that, shopping online is very doable, and all the retailers are making it more and more easy for you to send things back. And a lot of the retailers, like John Lewis have always done it, and Selfridges and the stores around the country, but a lot of people like Reese, now you can have an online consultation for nothing.
Yeah, that's good.
Then they send you stuff. A lot of the sort of branch retailers are doing that. Not too many, I hope, else I'll be out of a job.
Yes.
but I think that you really do need to. The thing, though, is there is nothing like being in the shop and trying it on and feeling it. I mean, there's no doubt about that, is there?
No.
No doubt whatsoever about being in the shop, trying it on. My mum always used to go up to something and she used to scrunch it up in her hand, to see whether or not it creased. And I think that's a great thing to do. But I think also, I say to people now, if you can afford to, when you send for something, send for 2 sizes and send one back.
Yeah, I do that now.
Really, it's really disappointing when you buy something and it doesn't fit you. And you think, oh, but I really love it. And then you've got to wait for the second one to come back. And in the same way, I say to clients when I'm shopping with them, I say, sometimes we'll be in Marks and Spencer's or wherever we are, and they'll say, do you think it's a bit small? And I say, well, I don't, but always try on the bigger size, because you will always think to yourself, oh, maybe I should have tried on the bigger size. So always do. And then at least if it is too big, then you've tried it on and
Yeah, and also the sizes in every shop are so different and varied, aren't they? That it's so hard to know whether... You can't say that, I'm a size 14, 16, and they vary so much from store to store. So I do have to try on various sizes just to see how it goes.
But even within the same brand, you find exactly that. I find within the same brand, you find that things change. You'll be a 10 in one outfit and then a 12 in another in the same, in the same shop, which is so infuriating.
Let's talk accessories, because I know that you are a huge fan of accessories, and I think, and I know I'm one of these people that actually, I don't have a lot of accessories. I know that when stylists put me in accessories, I always really like them, but I find them a bit scary knowing where to start with them. So what tips could you get people to kind of overcome that?
Well, I think you just have to experiment. Look, I'm sorry, everybody. This is full and final me shooting down because it's about filming them, getting in the right to see you all. All right, I'm not going to move. I'm not going to move a muscle. Don't let me move a muscle. I'm looking straight ahead, and I still look. Accessories. I think experiment a bit. Buy accessories. The accessories is It means what you have to do is, if you buy a pair of earrings, if you're a small frame and you buy a pair of earrings that are small, they will blend in beautifully. If you buy a pair of earrings that are medium, they will make a statement. And if you buy a pair of earrings that are large, they will make a big statement. And you have to bear that in mind, really, because you don't want your accessories to. Of course, I'm wearing earrings, but I wouldn't be wearing anything around my neck. So I think, you don't need to spend a lot of money these days on accessories. And I think the thing to do is to experiment. You can buy them very inexpensively and try them out. And, I have like summer accessories and winter accessories, because there are different things you wear. But I think if you look at your frame size, that's really important. If you're a big person and you wear tiny earrings, they won't get noticed. Won't see them. But, it's like patterns on fabrics. Sometimes people who are bigger ladies think, oh, I'll wear a small pattern. And what happens when you wear a small thing is people look at you and they see hundreds of daisies rather than just half a dozen.
Yeah.
And it makes you look bigger, So you have to, if you have accessories in proportion to your frame size, then you'll be safe. But going sort of either way outside that makes an impact. I have some really necklaces that I sometimes wear, put them on my car seat when I get to my meeting. And I put them on when I get there because they're a bit heavy.
I love that.
But I think, go to all these places on the high street and just try and experiment. And also the big thing this is layering. So you have a necklace here and then another one, then another one. The other thing is, if you've also got to remember, like with necklaces, where you want people to kind of look when they look at you. So that if you are wearing a necklace which finishes here, that's where people are going to look. If you're going to wear a necklace that finishes here, that's where people are going to look. It's a great way of focusing people's attention on areas of your body.
I shall go and experiment.
It's a distraction.
Yeah, I like that idea. Yeah, I think it's I do need to do more of it, and I do need to go shopping for accessories because I can see when stylists have done me for shoots and things, they've put things on me that I would never normally choose. But it does make such a difference to an outfit, doesn't it?
And scarves, if you've got a plain outfit on and put a scarf on, you can change that outfit. And also shoes. When I'm doing my presentations sometime, I'll go in a black dress and a pair of black patent shoes, and then I'll have with me a pair of way out leopard print boots, and I'll have with me a pair of bright red shoes, and I'll say to people, okay, so what's your first impression when I came in, all in black? She looks a bit dull for a stylist. And then, how people's impressions of you change according to what you're, just changing the accessory. I think it's a really, if your wardrobe, if you have a basics, you can change your look completely with accessories.
Right, I shall take that on board, Maggie. Have you been busy during lockdown? Have you found that people have used this time to kind of reassess how they want to come out of this and their kind of brand image?
Well, I'd be lying if I said to you as busy as I was before lockdown. And what I did during lockdown was I certainly did a bit of reassessing because I had COVID at the beginning of lockdown and was really quite poorly.
Oh, no.
And I was in lockdown on my own because my two daughters were in London. And so I started recording a video every day, a sort of fashion and style video every day, which meant I got out of bed, I put my clothes on and I put some makeup on. And this sort of escalated, and it escalated from being like just a style video to a bit about culture, a bit about film, TV, beauty. And I got such a positive response. Out of that, I formed a style club, which people can become members of. So I regrouped. A lot of people came, a lot of questions during lockdown. But I think, if I'm honest, people were not. I did do virtual consultations because I work in the corporate sector as well. And a lot of people were being virtually. But I think, if I'm honest, during lockdown, because everybody was so uncertain, they didn't know if they'd have a job, didn't know what their lives were going to be. I mean, we still don't really know what our lives are going to be. So people were kind of holding off a bit on their wardrobes. What they wanted were tips about using what they'd got and also detoxing a bit. I mean, I certainly detoxed, and I did a few wardrobe detoxes where the clients just piled all their stuff on the bed and went and on or whatever. Yes, no, yes, no. What do I wear with this? And they're also great fun. I mean, they're all, but I think people did a lot more detoxing. I mean, the charity shops have been packed since lockdown.
I know, I can't wait to go. I mean, I love a charity shop, so I can't wait to get and have a good rummage to see what people have.
I think that's another thing. I think, well, I grew up, my mum used to call them second-hand shops. They, they are full of us at great prices. And I always say, sometimes after clients have had a consultation with me and we've suggested a couple of things that are a bit different, for them to try, I always say, either try and buy some examples of this inexpensively and just give it a go and see how you feel. I think that's probably good advice for anyone who's kind of experimenting a little bit. Don't spend a fortune on your first experimental piece, because if it doesn't, you'll beat yourself up about it forevermore.
So what would be what would you recommend would be some of the first steps for somebody that really is unsure about their wardrobe and wanting to sort it out, and they don't really know where to start, they're feeling a bit overwhelmed when they open the doors?
One of the things that's really interesting is I get my clients to do what I call, giving all my secrets away here, what I call a lifestyle wheel. And so it's like a pie chart. So you get a big circle and it up according to how you spend your life. So what percentage of your life do you spend at home? What life do you spend at work? What percentage going on holidays, socializing, at home, going to the gym or whatever. Then you take a really, really honest look at your wardrobe and divide up, make a second circle and kind of divide up your wardrobe. Just think realistically how much of your wardrobe is relevant for each of those sections. And it's really quite interesting when I do that, because 9 times out of 10, you find quite often we have a wardrobe for the life we used to have or we'd like to have, and not the life we actually have. So a lot of my clients will have a wardrobe full of evening dresses and I'll say, oh, do you go to lots of functions? Oh, no, I used to, not anymore. So I think the first is being honest about what you need clothes for. Then, of your wardrobe, everything that doesn't fit you now. And only have in your wardrobe at one time things that actually you at that point in time. And so put them away. Those things you think you might slim into, put them away. You might put that weight back on again and you want to put them away. Don't have them in your wardrobe. Just pack them away as boxes that you suck air out of or whatever, but don't have them in your wardrobe. So less is more. I think if you have less to choose from, you can make better choices. And that thing about when you buy something, it's got to work with 3 things in your wardrobe, I think is really important. And also start by so things that don't fit you and things you haven't worn for 6 months, pull them out, try them on and decide why you haven't worn them. Is it the color? Is it the shape? Is it that you don't go anywhere to wear them? And make a decision based on that. And then if you've got loads of a certain thing, like you go, oh my God, I've got 10 red jumpers. Go through them, sift through them. And I think also we have to be quite honest, because sometimes, I'm after myself, you've got your favorite jumper and you've worn it for years and you really love it. Then suddenly you look at it and you think, oh, that's all bobbly and done for, really. But you don't notice it anymore, So if you haven't worn something, try and work out why you haven't worn it, And I think those are good starting points. And the way you organize your wardrobe as well is quite interesting, because people all do it different ways.
I do mine in colours.
How do you do yours?
Colours. It's all colour coordinated, so everything's in colours. Yeah,
you see, some people like to do it in colours. Other people like to do it in all your trousers, all your tops, all your dresses. Some of my busy working clients do it in outfits. So they'll actually have 5 outfits. Sunday night on hangers, and then when they get up in the morning, they can just wear them. I think it's interesting. I think in this day and age, our lives change a lot. Just going back to what I said about lifestyle, our lives change so much. People start working from home, people change jobs, and the dress code changes. Have children, and they're at home more. Older women start looking after grandchildren. People move out of the city. They move into our lives change, and quite often our wardrobe doesn't change with us. But for example, if you were in a corporate setting and you were wearing trousers and jackets, I would say is split those, because that navy blue jacket can look great over some t-shirt and a pair of jeans, and those trousers can look great exactly. So split them in a split wardrobe, and think about your dress that you used to wear for work, and actually if you put on a denim jacket over it and a pair of trainers, could you wear it? You know, could the look be changed? It's a kind of sort of, so if we want our wardrobe to give us value, we have to think outside the box.
That's such good advice, and I really hope it makes me want to go to my wardrobe and have a play, because I do love doing that and creating different looks. So I hope other people go and do that in their wardrobe today. It's made me feel really inspired. So I hope it has other people. How can people find out about you?
They can find out about me by going onto Instagram. I've got an Instagram account, which is Maggie _R _McMillan, not Mac, McMillan, MCMIWAN. So it's Maggie _R _McMillan. And my website is mmstyle.co.uk. And I've just launched my Style membership club. It's not on my website yet because I'm not quite sure how to get it on. But if people contact me through Instagram, that's probably the best way to contact me. I'm on Facebook as well. As I'm still on Maggie. See, this is it. Keep up, Maggie. I think I'm still on Facebook as Maggie McMillan, but then it says Star Council, which was my company name.
Yeah.
So ignore that. That's me.
Right.
And I'd love to hear from any of you. Send me your questions, send me your queries. Just follow me. I do try to give practical advice in terms of my Instagram feed most days. It's not just look at me, look what I've been doing. I always try to give tips every day.
Yeah, that's what I love about you. You do, and you also champion other women and look at other outfits and show people how you can relate your wardrobe to what somebody else might be wearing. You know, I know you shared a post about me wearing a blazer the other day, and then it started a whole conversation about blazers. Thank you. Yes. But I love the fact that you do that, because it just makes fashion so much more relatable to people that might be a little bit unsure about where to start.
Well, I think so, and I try to look at what other people are wearing and take inspiration from what other people are wearing, all shapes and sizes. And there is no right shape, there is no right size. It's just kind of about understanding, really, and having a bit of fun, And I always say to somebody, if it makes you feel good, wear it, because inevitably you look great in it, That's what it's about. It's about self-confidence. Looking good in your clothes is about building your self-confidence, and that's what I'm passionate about, no matter what age, whatever.
Have you, before we go, can I just ask you about your own confidence? Were you this confident when you were younger, or has this grown and developed through age and doing what you're doing?
Confidence about my style?
Yeah, and about yourself.
No, I'm not confident about myself at all, really. No, I mean, I think it was probably born out of an insecurity. Originally, I was an only child brought up in the north, where don't get above yourself, expect the banana skin, and I expected the banana skin, and I got it. And I think that I always loved clothes, but I think they were my way of kind of presenting myself to the world. They were almost like my armor, a bit of a disguise for what was. But as you've probably realized, I've always liked the sound of my own voice. So I've always been confident in terms of being a public speaker, but inside not so confident. And my clothes still are my armor, I think. I mean, I'm much more confident now in that I really don't worry about, you know, I used to think, you know, when my daughter had a day at school, would pick me up and say, something normal. Please wear something normal. By which she meant some sort of moleskin jeans and a high crust collar shirt or something, you know. And of course I didn't. And they say afterwards, oh, Mrs. So-and-so said she liked your dress, you know. But I think over the years, my confidence in wearing, I think I've become more confident understanding how much the way I look has to reflect my personality as well as suit my body shape. And I think that's the area that I've grown in confidence with, just being more daring and kind of reflecting my personality, because I am quite outgoing. And I think I have grown in confidence over the years. And whether that growing in confidence has been to do with the fact that I think a lot of it has been to do with the fact that I've to do with I feel good in what I wear. And therefore I present as confident. And if you present as confident, over the years you become confident.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I love what you do, and I shall put all your details on where people can find you on the notes as well, and it's been lovely to talk to you, and I hope in the future at some point our paths will cross again.
I'm so sorry for all the wiggling, everybody. I do apologise. What's wrong?
It's been lovely. It's been lovely, Maggie. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So I really hope that people just go and have some fun in their wardrobe. I think she's such an inspiration, and she's given some really great practical tips and advice. So I know I'm constantly playing with my wardrobe and seeing what else I can get out of it and make use of clothes instead of, like Maggie says, buying less and wearing more. So hope you've enjoyed that, and I shall be back tomorrow with another lovely guest, and enjoy the rest of your day.